Okay, this is Randy Sprinklers, and in my last video I showed you the royal coach that I had. Um, a couple things. I discovered that this had a little tiny restrictor, straightener, not sure what its purpose was, just a little tiny thing inside the nozzle here. Um, it's actually attached to the inside or the backside of the nozzle itself. I was expecting like a filter on the inside of the of the body itself, and it was actually attached to the nozzle. Now here's another thing. Well, okay, a couple things. I took and lightened the spring even more. So I don't know if you remember the tightness that I had before, but this is even lighter. Um, so what I do is a couple things. One is I test it to see that it in this position that it's going to go all the way back. It barely does, and you see it's kind of caught there. But I also do the same thing on this side, and it easily goes all the way over. So all the weight is on the front of the arm. So that being said, and you can see that I changed the positioning. So before you had the end here and the end up in this corner, which I now rerouted it so that it's on this side. That's so I had the extra spring to work with and could lighten this up. The weight is on the arm. Here's another thing is the back of the of the body. This does not hit the body, but it hits the arm actually hits the nozzle itself. So this is real important. This area gets worn out because of the fact that it's always hitting the nozzle area instead of, let's say, both sides of the body. If it was in the body, um, this probably wouldn't be worn out right now. Um, so I had difficulty getting the nozzle out, but I got it out and putting it back in. It's at a slight angle. It's not exactly straight up and down. So now when the arm comes and hits this, um, kind of hard to see, but when it hits it, it does not actually hit it. Um, does not actually hit it flat. So right now it's hitting the bottom side of the nozzle here because I have this just at a slight angle instead of straight up and down. So here's the other thing is too, since I took the bearing assembly off of this one and put it on the SU63D, this happens to be the bearing assembly from the SU63D. And the reason why I've left it on is because the sprinkler at least moved super slow, but at least it moved in this position. So I'm going to make it, or with this bearing assembly. So we're going to make a test with this bearing assembly on there. And as nice as the SU63D works with um, the bearing assembly that this came with, that the Royal Coach came with, I'm going to leave this on there because at least I knew that it moved and was able to get to go in both directions. So we're going to make that test now. Okay, well, there it is in operation. I mean, it is moving, but it is very slow. I probably can tighten the spring a hair, but we'll watch it go through a full cycle. That's getting ready to go to reverse. And also note that this is without that stream restrictor. So the stream is a little bit better as well. So you can see that it is moving, but it is really, really slow. Now it would be faster with the original bearing that actually is on the other sprinkler right now. So this is the bearing this one right here is the bearing that is on the SU63 right now. And that's the one that actually came with the Royal Coach. And whether it's worth doing a test with it or not is beside the point, I think. If this sprinkler wasn't on the market for very long, there's probably a very good reason for it. And it's possible that I may have overlooked something still yet that would affect the the movement on this. The movement should never be this slow. And I don't know whether it's going to go back into the forward motion or not. It's still moving. Oh yeah, it's still moving. Slow as it might be, it's still moving. Now I may do another test tightening the spring just a hair bit. Still going. And you see it made it through the complete cycle. So let me stop the video. Okay, so this part is with the spring just a hair bit tighter, moving a little bit faster forward. And it's about to go into reverse there. And this part's not too fast either. A little faster than it was um, with the lighter spring. Like I said, I tightened up the spring just a little bit, just enough to give it a little bit more oomph, I guess, if you want to call it that. We'll watch it go through one more cycle, and then see if we can't post this. So it's going. It's actually moving faster forward than it did backwards. But I'm looking at the tail end, and you can see that it's moving. So we'll watch it get to the forward, to the go forward here and to the reverse, and then we'll call it quits. So you can see that it moves forward a lot easier than it does going backwards. Now this would be a little bit faster probably with the other bearing assembly that it came with. But since this is strictly a test, um, it doesn't matter too much. Getting past that initial movement of the reverse mechanism, and about to get there. And there we go. So we'll call that quits.